Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is Nick, and I'll be going over the day's crypto news and analysis. Today we'll be talking about Ripple and XRPS, which are the two most important crypto and finance terms. That being said, I hope everyone is having a lovely day or night. So you guys are out there in the world. You may remember this clip that came out a while ago. It was X Shorts and David Schwartz, and the topic of the conversation was the chance of two world reserve currencies at the same time. The chance of success is money. If the choice is no boss and that makes a lot of cryptocurrency people rich, I don't think that will be seen as too much of a bad thing right now. Pay attention. It has been known for a long time in this area that the main goal of getting rich with XRP, it has been seen as a question of why they would let you get rich off of it. That was the main goal. Now, I want to know how many people will really get rich from XRP. I'm seeing this debate a lot these days. A lot of the comments think that hundreds of millions of people hold XRP depending on where they are. Guys, we haven't even reached 5 million XRP wallets yet. How many people have 2, 3, 4, or 5 different XRP wallets? How many of those wallets actually hold an XRP coin? How many only have the most basic features linked to them? Some wallets have recently changed their names, but even so, I'd say that about half of the wallets that are worth more than $5 million are useless. That's why I say it's not about making millions and millions and millions of people rich. Of course, that's still a very small number, but no matter what, the most important thing I've been talking about with XRP is that it has a big use case and value. It's a decentralized currency that no one controls. It could connect any currencies. That's how I've always looked at XRP in the state of reserve currency. Why do we need a reserve currency when you have instant settlement realized in? You don't need a reserve currency. Why should we have one? That's where we look at CBDCs and what's in the middle of them. But watch this video again very carefully, because the whole thing, this whole video is going to be about some new news that came up again lately. Additionally, it's very important because it comes from well-known people. You think there could be two world reserve currencies at the same time? That might happen if you do that. While some places are still able to use the dollar as their main currency, I think it's more likely that most of the world is ready to move on to something else. Another thing is that one of my wildcard success possibilities for a digital asset is, as time goes on, countries start to understand that the US dollar won't always be the reserve currency. Other things will take its place. This is also true for banks. For example, when we first started selling software to banks, people would tell me, do you know a bank could use something that was made by banks instead of something that you guys were selling? That they didn't know that Deutsche Bank is one of only about 10 banks in the world. HSBC, Credit Suisse Bank, JP Morgan Chase is like the people who would build a system for all banks that would work all over the world. That's 6,000 less important banks. Those are their biggest and best rivals. Their biggest and strongest competitors are those groups they hate the most. They wouldn't want to use the system they built and support because it would be unfair to them. And I think the same thing could happen to countries. Every country would love for their currency to be the world's reserve currency. You know, that's what's helped the US economy grow by leaps and bounds for decades. And every other country says, yeah, we'd love to have the world's reserve currency, but the only ones that could possibly pull it off are the US and maybe the EU. It might be Russia besides that, maybe one or two more. But in reality, most countries know that if there is going to be a new world reserve currency, it won't be theirs. Instead, they might prefer a currency that no one can control to one that is controlled by their biggest geopolitical enemies. So that's what I think is the best chance for it to work as a digital app right now. For digital goods, if these nations are like, okay, the US dollar can only last so long, it won't be our money though, because no one will want to repeat the US dollar to me. The only people who don't want the dollar to go away are those in the EU. Only Russia wants the ruble to go away, and China doesn't want either. Who wants the thing that you want to stand in for the dollar? So maybe they could agree on a currency that no one could control instead of one that was run by their most powerful geopolitical foes. I think that's the most likely outcome if you want things to go well, but the big question is how to get everyone to agree. Well, I mean, they might agree on something if it means their geopolitical enemies don't get a new currency to replace the dollar. You know, that's not true. That's just if they get rid of the old boss and hire a new one. If the choice is to have no boss, I don't think that's a good thing, even if it makes a lot of cryptocurrency people rich. They'll think that's too much of a reminder. That's fine. Yes, it was great to talk to you too. Do you guys see what's going on with the BRICS? They want this currency that all the BRICS countries will use. When we look at that more closely, it's the same thing. Just say it again, but this time leave out the parts where the US doesn't hold a reserve currency. What does that fix? It's not making things better. But I'm bringing this up again because a lot of people are talking about it now around September time. There was even a post by Crypto Area that she quoted from another post by Mr. Fresh Time. Also, we have XRP as a safe haven currency. The story of Ripple hasn't been talked about in years. According to David Schwartz in a recent live show, Ripple is in talks with banks and other big financial companies about adding stablecoins to the open exchange of major currencies. Records from court also show that Prisma helped Ripple get natural liquidity in that same live area without any help from the government. David then said that Prisma can use decentralized market liquidity to bring together smarter liquidity. A lot of work is also being done to make the DEX use work with on-demand funding. To keep up, this is why it's so important. Our Ripple Insight blog from 2017 is out of date. If you want to learn more about the subject, watch Mr. Fresh's most recent film. And we can see that the North Star, or Prisma, is being talked about here. Also, AM, or the automatic market maker, will bring about big changes in the way liquidity is offered. This will allow Ripple to go after most payment flows around the world, such as having on-demand liquidity grow very quickly. But no matter what, this post from September was also what a lot of people were interested in. In the 2017 Ripple Insight blog, we say that we are more dedicated than ever to the simple goal of making XRP the world's reserve digital currency. This is what crypto communities are really talking about. Once more, is that going to happen? I always think of XRP as a bridge currency between different countries. It's a very easy way to think about it. I don't think we need a reserve currency. What we do need is a global bridge currency that links all the CBDCs. It's possible that will happen, and XRP could be the key. Is saying that crazy? No one would say it is, I think. To go over this one more time, though, we also need to realize that there is no way to know what will happen. We are living in a time of technology and big changes that has never been seen before. Anything could be around the corner, but XRP Drops just made a great post. This is on February 26th. Guys, this video is from 2 weeks ago. At the Frankfurt Stock Exchange in Germany, I heard someone say for the first time that XRP could be a world reserve bridge currency. That's exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's more of a global bridge currency than a world currency. The whole idea of a world reserve currency that they put forward, it also kind of makes me want that thought. View it as soon as CBDCs are used by central banks. As soon as possible to put CBDCs into place, the feeling of time running out to stop this possible collapse, you'll be back to what's there, of course. Ripple is there with a deal. Plus, if the time is right, Ripple could become the world's main bridge exchange. That's why you had to read the notes. But what they're really talking about here, I'm going to skip ahead so you can read it. We have this idea that the crash is about to happen. Everyone now thinks that we're kind of dodging this collapse. I do not believe that we are safe. I've always said that 2024 will most likely be a safe year. Certainly 2025 to 2026 will be the most worrying time. Then, just like they're saying here, something will break and the building will fall down. You'll have to rely on what's already there. Ripple has been around for a very long time. They've made something truly unique. They have the CBDC platform. Their name is well known, and they've been sitting at the high tables with central bankers. The groups that have been in charge for a very long time, it wouldn't surprise me if this is how Ripple and XRP become important parts of the world's money system. When I go and make a payment was the last time I looked. When I send money through a wire, whatever the reason, we are still using the old-fashioned way of paying for things. Everyone says XRP has failed, but at the end of the day, we haven't even reached the point where instant settling is possible. So how could XRP have failed if we are still living in that old-fashioned style of payment? Besides this, though, we have over here Ripple's CBDC platform is said to have all the features needed for mass adoption as it takes the ecosystem to a massive change. We need a consistent framework for regulating CBDCs, and here we have Ripple's game-changing CBDC platform changing the way digital currency is used. After this, we have Ripple's